welcome back to episode 3 of our mini series on drugs. This is Catch Up with Kai and Cohen, and today we're kicking it off by talking about weed or cannabis. Weed's become a pretty big part of our lives in Canada since it became. Do you remember when it became legalized?
Yeah, it was 2018. I remember because I invested in weed stocks.
Oh yeah, you guys did invest in weed stocks, and when it came, that's when we did when we tried the fucking pills for the first time.
Yeah, stocks didn't do well.
No?
It was horrible.
Oh shit. Was it like all stocks did bad, or was it the one you specifically invested in did bad?
I think it was all weed stocks.
Oh,
I think there was just so much hype built around it, up around it. But it did not meet the expectations, basically.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, but anyways, with weed, I guess I'll start off with my personal experience with weed. So I started smoking weed, or I guess I smoked for the first time when I was in grade 12, which made me realize I did a lot of things for the first time when I got to grade 12. When I like switched schools, made like these new friends. I guess I met a rambunctious group of people, and that got me into doing all these things. But yeah, the first time I did it was in grade 12, and it was so crazy. So weed was not legal back then. It was still illegal. And my friends at the time had this gigantic water bong.
Like water bong?
Yeah, like a huge bong that you put water in it and stuff. I never had one of my own, but that was like my first experience with weed. Later on, I would discover that's like a terrible way to try weed just because it's so difficult. But anyways, it was on a water bong, and this water bong, they wouldn't like keep it in a house or something. They would like bury it in a ravine, and then we would go out to this ravine, dig up this gigantic bong, and try to smoke weed. And I did that like 10 times before finally getting high. Like I would hit this bong 10 separate instances, not feel anything, just cough up a storm. Meanwhile, my friends were getting high, and yeah, it wasn't working for me until one night I finally got high.
Wait, like what do you mean? Like, so the first time you did it, you didn't get high?
Yeah, I think maybe I was like doing it wrong, because they told me it was just like suck as long and as hard as you can until you can't do it anymore, and then get off the bong and like breathe it out or whatever. And every time I did that, I would just start coughing like crazy.
I would assume like that's when you know it works though, right? When you cough a lot.
I didn't feel anything. Like completely sober every single time. And then we'd like be sitting in a car and like listening to music, and I'd be like, are you guys fucking with me?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it. I thought at that point, I thought people were just like, this is like some stupid shit. People are making it up, acting like they're getting high. Because I had done it like a bunch of times with them up till that point, and I felt absolutely nothing. But anyways, one night it actually worked. I guess I like smoked it properly, and I got so high.
Yeah.
It was so crazy high.
Was it fun?
Dude, the only thing I remember was like, I couldn't see anything.
Oh, wow. Actually, that's a common experience that I heard.
Really?
Yeah.
For like people that get high for the first time?
Not for the first time if you're really high.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I was like blind, but it was also like a very dark night, and we were smoking in a car. Driver was sober, just to make it clear. And yeah, everything was just like super dark. My heart was like pounding out of my chest. And I told my friends, I was like, guys, I think I'm high, but I think I'm like too fucking high. Is this what's supposed to happen?
It was not fun.
No, not fun.
Okay.
I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think there was 5 of us in this car, and one of my friends had a fantastic idea to get me iced coffee. Supposedly that helps with the high or something. That was like the play back then when we were in high school. Really? If someone gets too high, get them iced coffee for some reason. And I thought that was a great idea. Yeah. Because I was like, iced coffee right now sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So like, give me 2.
Did it work?
Well, so they got me 2 iced coffees, and then I chugged them. I don't know if it worked. Maybe it like sobered me up a little bit. I remember we went to one of my friend's house after that, and I was just like on the couch, just becoming one with the couch.
Yeah. So that must have been fun.
Yeah. At that point, once my chest wasn't pounding, it felt like a hammer and chisel. Yeah. Was like, someone was like taking it to the middle of my chest, just like tuck, 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 tuck. But that was my heartbeat. But yeah, that was my first time getting high. And
did you feel like you were getting a heart attack?
Yeah, I did. I thought I was dying, but I knew I wasn't dying because I knew at that point, like, can't really die from weed.
Oh, you already knew.
Yeah, I already
Okay.
knew that you
Okay.
can't die from it. So I was like calm in that sense. I wasn't like, oh fuck, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, this is freaky.
Yeah.
You know?
Were you paranoid? Because that can happen, right? Like, like, oh my God, like
Ye-
what's happening? Like, is someone following me?
Yeah,
Are they
I think because I wasn't like I actually wasn't seeing things. Like maybe my eyes were closed.
like it was like fully black?
Yeah, like fully
blacked out.
Yeah.
Maybe your eyes was closed.
Yeah, maybe my eyes were closed.
Because you know how when you get high, like the eyelids get pretty heavy. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, like fully closed.
Yeah.
Totally possible. I mean, I don't know why one of my dumbass friends wouldn't tell me like to open my eyes if they were closed. But it was a dark
Weren't
night.
they high though?
Not everyone in the car.
So you're the only one that was high?
No. The driver wasn't high,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure everyone else in the car was high. But anyways, yeah, that night, yeah, I got my coffee and then like, yeah, I got high for the first time. And then for some reason, since that day, since like getting high for the first time properly, I haven't had a problem getting high again. So it's like,
As in like, it's always been a good time?
yeah, I guess. I mean, no, I can't say it's always been a good time, but more that I've like haven't had this problem of like hitting a bong. I mean, I don't hit a bong anyways. Like this was a friend's bong in high school, and then ever since then, I think I've hit a bong like once in my life. But I at least figured out how to get high properly.
Yeah.
Doing that. Yeah, and that was my first time getting high. What about you? Do you have any experience with weed?
Yeah. I remember my first time. I think it was a good experience.
Yeah.
My eyelids got heavy.
Did you get high like the very first time you smoked weed? You had
did.
no problem getting high?
Yeah.
Did you smoke a joint?
No, it was pipe.
Oh.
It was when it was legal.
Damn, that's classy. Oh, you waited until it was oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah,
But it was through a pipe.
okay.
It hurt.
It
My
hurt?
lungs, yeah.
Oh yeah, it hurt my lungs too.
And then yeah, it actually hurt a lot. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you know how you're supposed to like breathe, like inhale or whatever, like the second inhale, like
Yeah.
that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And then everything became funny. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
And then I got super tired. Like I just like slept.
Right away.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
yeah,
I guess it wasn't really that enjoyable. Like I just got super like tired. My eyes got super heavy and I just napped.
Yeah, same for me actually. I don't think it was super enjoyable because I'm remembering now once we got to my friend's house and I was like laying on the couch, all my friends left.
Oh really?
Yeah, they like went on their adventure to like do something and I'm just like
Yeah.
in one of my friend's basement all by myself just laying on a couch.
Damn.
So yeah, I think I just passed out and then woke up the next day and yeah, back to normal life.
Yeah, it was like, but it wasn't really like addictive. It didn't feel addictive.
Oh yeah, and not at all. Yeah, not at all. At the time, it was. I mean, when I first smoked weed, I guess since I did it before you, it was still illegal, so it wasn't so easy to get weed back then.
Actually, I remember getting a little bit anxious.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't know why. It was a bit like anxiety.
What were you? Do you remember what you were anxious about? Was it like about getting caught or something like that, or you were like worried about your health?
I feel like it was maybe more the physical symptoms. Like my heart was racing.
Oh, okay.
Like you know when you're anxious, you're like kind of
Yeah.
like on edge.
Yeah.
That's what I felt.
Did you know you couldn't die at that point? Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were just
No,
going to.
I wasn't scared about dying. It was just like my heart was racing, and I felt like the body. I was anxious.
So it was like you didn't like the response you had to weed.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple of pros and cons. Well, first of all, I don't think, since we touched on it, I don't know if weed is very addictive. It probably isn't.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, in the same sense, like chemically addictive. You know how nicotine is chemically addictive, or other drugs are chemically addictive. Well, are drugs chemically addictive?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like the euphoria from it is what's addictive. It's the chemicals itself in the drug that's causes addiction.
I think it's everything. Like like a whole it's pretty complex, I think.
Do you know if cannabis specifically has those chemically addictive components?
I think so.
Oh, you think so?
I guess it's different for every person, but I think cannabis in itself can be addicting. Like maybe like on average is probably less addictive than nicotine, but I would still say cannabis is addicting. Yeah,
I would say much less addictive than something like nicotine for sure. But anyways, to the pros and cons, I got a couple written down.
Yeah.
The first one is a pro and a con, and it is that weed makes time fly like nothing else. Time just fucking zooms by when you're high.
Really?
Yeah, I realized at some point weed is like a time machine, man. It's
Really?
if you want to go forward in time, just blast through space, reach a certain hour. Well, not even reach a certain hour, just like kill time. I think that's what weed does.
Mine's the exact opposite.
Really?
The time goes so slow.
Really?
Like, for example, like, oh, I'm high on weed.
Yeah.
I brush my teeth.
Yeah.
And I have electric toothbrush.
Yeah.
And it shows me the time of how long I'm brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
I think I've like when I do it, I've like, oh, I must have brushed my teeth for like 10 minutes. I look down, it says 1 minute and an unhappy face. It's too short.
Yeah, maybe you're not maybe you're like self-conscious about how, because when you're high you kind of notice like every fucking, because I brush my teeth when I've been high as well. It's like you really notice every single brush,
Yeah.
And then maybe that's
I mean I get what you mean. I get the physical sensations that are kind of like amplified.
Yeah.
But no, not with like brushing my teeth. It just time just goes a bit slower too. Like for example, like when I'm high and I'm on my phone, I'm like, oh, I think I've been on my phone for an hour, but it's only been like 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, for me, it's the exact opposite. Like if I get high and then I'm watching a movie or a show or I'm on a computer, I'll be like, what the fuck? 2 hours just passed by. Like that.
Really?
Like instantly. Yeah.
But what are you doing though?
Just watching a movie or playing a game or usually multiple things at once. Like I'll have like a movie or show on one screen and then like something else, like I'm reading something else or working on something or playing something else on the other screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then time just fucking flies by.
Interesting.
Yeah. Especially on weekends. If I do it at nighttime, I end up staying up like weed doesn't make me super sleepy anymore, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, it just fucking kills time for me. Like if I had smoked late at night and then not gone to bed, I could be up until like 4 a.m. and like not realize it's gotten to 4 a.m. Yeah.
Wow. I don't like it specifically because it just makes me sleep. Like I'm like, oh, well, there's no point. This is not even fun. I'm like so tired after.
Yeah, dude. I wish it was like that for me because I think for a period in my life, I actually did smoke weed thinking it was like to try to help me sleep.
Yeah. Of which I found that I looked into it because I used to think that too. I was like, oh, maybe weed helps you sleep.
Yeah.
I think I read that it doesn't necessarily help, but then it's not necessarily bad for you either. The only bad thing I read was that in the morning it can make you groggy. Yeah. But then it's like fine for your REM sleep or whatever. Oh, I think there's some impact on REM sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too sure.
Because I would be surprised if you could have like totally good sleep while you're high.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Right? It doesn't really make sense because like your your brain is like full of chemicals at that point.
Yeah.
It's because does weed make your brain more active or less active?
More active because it's psychoactive. Yeah.
Okay, so then your brain's like firing on all cylinders and you're trying to sleep. How do you get good sleep like that?
I guess actually no, you're right. I don't think you would get good sleep.
Yeah, right? Like maybe you'll be asleep, but
yeah. Like it might help you fall asleep faster, but the actual sleep itself it's probably not good.
Yeah. I mean my experience sleeping on weed is like pretty similar to sleeping on melatonin, which is I did not get great sleep. And then like the morning after, I would be groggy for quite a while too.
Well, melatonin, it's a little different, I think. It's not supposed to strengthen the sleep cycle itself, but rather to correct the sleep cycle timing, like when you're jet lagged or stuff like that. Yeah,
I definitely abused melatonin as well in my lifetime. But I have a theory. What if it's, how, we generate melatonin in our own bodies. It's naturally occurring. My theory is when you smoke weed, the same thing happens. Your body just gets overloaded with melatonin. Thoughts?
I don't think so.
Oh, fuck.
Probably not melatonin.
Okay. Maybe not melatonin.
Our body has natural like cannabinoids, like our receptors.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so we can produce that? Or it's just made for, the receptors are made for receiving?
Receptors are made for receiving like THC, I think.
Protein or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this. But
But yeah, okay, so that was I feel like it makes time fly like nothing else, but you have the opposite experience.
But I could see that being a con though, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I see that as a con for sure because, allegedly, you smoke weed to have some fun, enjoy your day. But in my experience, the day just goes away and I didn't get to enjoy it. Or maybe in the moment I did, but like once I'm at the end of the day, I'm like, fuck, I didn't really get to do all the stuff that I wanted to do today. Yeah, so I feel like it makes time fly really, really fast.
Yeah.
Another, I guess I'm on pros right now, but yeah, a pro that I have written down is sometimes make stuff more fun.
Yeah.
But that's only when you use it pretty sparingly, in my opinion. Like, for example, if you go to the movies, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, it's kind of fun being high at the movies, depending on the movie, depending on the vibe and stuff, or like, like fucking like mini golf or shit like that. Sometimes it can be fun. Sometimes it can be fun doing that while you're high, but again, sparingly, because if you're like high every time you do that, again, time just flies, and I feel like you don't really get to experience the activity. Another thing, anecdotally, that I have felt that I feel is a pro for weed is I feel like there are genuine medical applications for weed, not just CBD, but THC as well, or at least like the weed that's like mixed or whatever. I have anecdotally found it to be a decent answer to pain. So I found
like
it
for yourself.
Yeah, for myself.
What kind of pain?
Like so I've mentioned a couple times I play volleyball, but aside from that, I also am fairly active in not really running, but I go on the elliptical a lot. And but I used to run, and that caused me like hip pain, some knee pain, and also volleyball occasionally will cause me like ankle and foot pain. And I found sometimes when it's like really, really noticeable pain, getting high will distract me from the pain. I don't know how much it's actually doing. Well, I've read that it's good for inflammation, stuff like that. I don't know exactly how much that's helping, but at least it helps distract from the pain. So in that sense, I've found it to be, maybe applicable as a pain reliever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just personally.
I mean, yeah. I've seen that too, that it's helpful for pain, especially like cancer patients, or maybe like people with multiple sclerosis, or maybe people who have like poor appetite. I've seen that weed can be helpful, but I don't know. I'm not doubting that.
Yeah,
and for sure it probably is helpful for some people. Yeah, but that's probably not the case for like everyone though.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because I looked into it, and like, sure, there's some research that shows that it is helpful, but it's not like amazing. Like if it was that amazing, then it would have been recommended to every single person, and they would have thought that it just works magically.
Yeah. But, so basically, the alternatives are better for managing like similar symptoms,
like pain and appetite. Yeah, I would like to think they would try something else first, rather than going straight to like weed. That'd be kind of odd, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than trying like medication or different strategies. Medication as in like prescription medication. That's not cannabis. Rather than jumping straight to like smoking a joint or like using CBD oil. Yeah. Yeah.
How about strictly as a response to inflammation? Like I've heard that as well.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
But I think it's not something you go right away. Like maybe if things didn't work out, and then that's something you consider as like a backup plan, maybe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So personally, I felt maybe anecdotally. Again, it's like when you're high, how reliable of a source can you really be? And this, like I felt that pain relief while high. So don't quote me on this. Don't use weed if you're in pain. Go see a doctor. But anyways, next pro I have is when you're so bored with absolutely nothing at all to do. I guess this ties into like the time flying. But for me personally, there were times where I was like so bored with nothing to do. And it can make you feel less bored then in those situations.
Isn't that the same as
time flying? Yeah, pretty much. I guess just another way to say that. Okay, then the next one, the last pro that I have is that it's pretty damn cheap nowadays, to be honest. Legal weed, not very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially compared to how it was before.
How much is it?
Oh, I think you can get like, okay, from what I remember, you can get pack of joints, like multi-pack or something, and those are pretty cheap. I think probably less than $10. And then the vape like cartridge is around $20-$30, something like that. And those last fucking forever. Like months, or maybe not months, but weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, if you're like being responsible, it should last you for months. And in that situation, $20 for a couple months, that's super cheap.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like way cheaper than like alcohol.
Yeah, way cheaper than pretty much anything else.
Cigarettes, nicotine.
Yeah, cheaper than cigarettes because you smoke way less. So it lasts you way longer. Way cheaper than alcohol. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much cheaper than everything else nowadays.
Yeah.
A little too cheap, if you ask me.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have for the pros.
Do you think it helps you relax, like you specifically? Because that's what people say. You know, like, oh, I'm stressed out. I smoke a little, and it makes me relax at night.
Okay, I guess I didn't fully dive into this, but for me personally, so I don't smoke weed anymore. If I do, it's quite rare because I had a pretty bad relationship with weed. So a couple of years ago, I got dependent on weed. I was going through a rough time, and yeah, it was pretty shit. And because of that time, like it was so bad that I was like, this is pretty embarrassing to admit, but I would be like waking up, getting high, and then being high like all day. And I just had like so much going on in my head, and it made smoking weed pretty appealing. But yeah, I went through this like big thing with weed, ended up quitting, luckily and thankfully. But because of that, because of my past with weed, I'm really, really apprehensive to smoke it nowadays. So for something like, what was the example you used for like the benefit that it gives me?
Well, I'm asking you specifically, like, does weed make you relax?
Right. So no, not anymore, to be honest. Now I just feel.
But did it though?
Yeah, it did. It made me, which this is like so bad, but it basically made me like not care too much about my problems, which is so bad because it doesn't fix those problems. It just delays the problems, you know? Like all the stress I had, smoking weed would definitely help me deal with that stress, but not actually. In the moment it helps because I'm not thinking about it anymore. But once you're sober, those problems are still there. So that relaxation was very, very, very temporary. Yeah.
So what is it like then? What was it like for you to be addicted?
It was routine. That was just that became like normal life for me. I was severely dependent on it.
Like why was that bad though?
It was bad because of so many reasons. And it just made life like harder. Like I was like hanging out with friends while high. I was studying while high. I was working while high. I was like around everything I did during that year. I was fucking high, which is like so bad.
Yeah, but why is it bad?
That's a great question.
Because we talk about how weed, one pro is that it can make things enjoyable. So wasn't it enjoyable during those moments when you were high and doing all these things?
No, I was just running away from life when I was doing it. It was just constantly distracting myself day after day after day instead of like facing my problems.
Yeah, so it sounds like you were using it as a means to avoid your problems.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I mean, I don't know exactly if it started this way. I think it did start with, I was hooked on nicotine and my sleep was terrible and melatonin wasn't working too well for me. So I thought, maybe I could try smoking weed to fall asleep. And I think that's how, but I think I like convinced myself of that,
As in like, oh, that's an excuse that I use.
Yeah. I think that might have been it. I mean, I'm sure there was some truth to it as well, because I do remember, I know that sleep's been like such a big part of my life, and I've always like battled to try to get as good sleep as possible. Tried like a bunch of different stuff, which is like hilarious to say when I'm saying like, I like smoked a ton of nicotine and smoked a ton of weed. Like obviously if I just stopped fucking doing that, then I would have fine sleep.
So you're like, because you know how nicotine makes you, like impacts your ability to fall asleep because it's like a stimulant?
Yeah.
So you're saying that you use weed to combat that problem?
Pretty much. Pretty much like smoke nicotine all day. This was before I was smoking weed all day.
Yeah.
It was smoking nicotine all fucking day. Get to nighttime. I know I can't fall asleep easily, so then I start smoking weed, and then that did help me fall asleep at the start.
Okay.
But then it grew into something way bigger than that, something way worse.
Yeah, because you said you're avoiding problems. What else though? Like both psychologically, physically, what did you really experience in terms of the negative consequences?
Well, life started moving on without me,
Oh.
Yeah. Like
okay.
it would be like a year went by and I realized like a whole fucking year just went by.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like that.
Almost as if, do you think it was almost like you're dissociating?
No, I don't think
Not
I
to
was.
that degree, hey.
Well, can you explain dissociating to me?
It's like almost as if you're on autopilot and you're looking at yourself from a third party, like above, and you're disconnected.
It wasn't like that. I was on autopilot, but it wasn't like an out of body, like I'm not in control anymore.
Yeah.
I was in control the whole time. I was just like lethargic, not really motivated. Yeah, didn't really have motivation to like do much. Just living day by day, getting high day by day, and like that was my life.
Yeah. Do you think it made you depressed? I asked that because I wrote a paper on weed.
Okay.
When I was in undergrad.
Yeah.
It was a class about where we choose a topic of pressing concern.
Yeah.
Which at that time was when cannabis was going to be legalized. So I chose that.
Yeah.
So I think I know a decent amount of weed.
Yeah.
And weed, for a lot of people, can worsen depression.
Yeah.
And even things like bipolar disorder. So do you think for yourself it worsened anything like depression or anxiety for you? Or even caused it maybe?
It definitely, I know I was already depressed at that point because that period in my life was like everything came tumbling down, not because of weed, but everything like crashed in my life. And then I went to weed to like try to deal with that as like a stress relief, basically. Like I gave myself like told myself a bunch of reasons, convinced myself of like these things that weed would do for me. And yeah, and one of those was like stress relief from things that were like causing depression for me. And it definitely made it worse, much worse.
Yeah, because I've read so many news articles and even on forums and posts when I was doing research that, like I use it because I'm anxious. It helps me anxious. It helps me cope. It helps me numb my emotions. But like, if you look at it, I mean, I'm not discounting that. I'm sure it does help in the moment, but long term, I can't imagine it being like that impactful. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a way, it'll even make it worse. Like you're not addressing the root cause of that anxiety or depression or whatever problem that you're having.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm a fairly anxious person, but I do a fairly good job of masking it. And I did find anxiety relief in weed, but it was because the weed was causing me anxiety when I was sober. So for example, like I said, I was smoking weed a ton and that became normal for me. And then when I wasn't smoking weed and I would like be around other people, I would feel like anxious. Like I didn't feel baseline compared to if I was high and around people, I would feel like quote unquote normal. But if I was never, if I never had any kind of relationship with weed in the first place, I don't think I would have been nearly as anxious to begin with in those social situations.
Do you think it made you more like socially isolated? As in like, I'd rather just stay home and smoke weed and get high. I don't really want to talk to people. I just want to do my own thing.
I would have to think about that for sure because, like I said, I was depressed, and that kind of made me want to go out less, anyways. But I don't think it was I didn't really want to stay home and smoke weed. That wasn't what was appealing to me. It was more like this shit sucks. I don't want to think about it right now. And then I would like, but is that the same thing?
What do you mean?
Like, is wanting to run away from my problems by smoking weed, is that the same thing as wanting to just stay home and smoke weed instead of going out and seeing friends?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess maybe, yeah. Maybe it was making me less social.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was just, it definitely wasn't just the weed that was making me less social. There were other pressures in my life, and weed was magnifying those pressures.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like it was an amplifier of whatever problems that you were experiencing.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice any horrible physical effects from it?
Yeah, I did. First of all, contrary to popular belief, I actually had a lower appetite. Much lower appetite.
Like no munchies or anything.
Yeah, like when I first started smoking weed, then I would get munchies.
Yeah.
But then once I was consistently smoking weed, like literally every fucking day.
That's what I heard. Like because you would think that smoking weed increases your appetite, you get munchies and you gain weight, but like people who smoke a lot, they lose weight eventually.
Yeah. I think I remember talking to you like right when I quit weed.
Yeah.
I was telling you like my appetite is so much bigger now. Once I had really gotten off weed and it had been like, I don't know, like a week or something, then my appetite finally came back and I felt like I was eating normal amount for, my size and weight and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it fucked my appetite for sure.
Was that the only thing that was bad for you?
For physical changes? Okay, so one thing I feel like weed did was it damaged my hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, legitimately.
Oh, wow, that's a new one.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this was like something also to do with stress or something.
Yeah.
But while I was smoking weed, I would notice more hair falling out of my, like in the shower and stuff.
You think that's because you weren't really eating well? Because you were always high?
Yeah.
And the lack of nutrition caused your hair to be brittle or something?
Yeah, maybe it was the lack of eating, the lack of nutrients, stress.
Yeah.
I was home a lot in that year, so maybe lack of like sunlight,
Oh yeah.
But I mean, those can all kind of be attributed to weed. Weed is kind of making me do those things.
Yeah.
Eating less, going out less, stuff like that. Yeah, that's another thing I noticed for physically. What else?
When was it that you recognized like, holy fuck, like I have a problem. I need to quit.
When was it? I mean, I think I knew for a while, but I guess I wasn't like, I knew it was a problem. I wasn't acknowledging it was a big problem. Like I remember I would even, because around that time I was still hanging out with you, and I would tell you like things like, oh, I was like high all day, blah blah blah. And even then I knew it was a problem, but it's not like I was really like trying to stop. Yeah.
So then when was it that you got that the motivation to quit?
Something definitely happened because I quit nicotine and weed on like the exact same day, which was
cold turkey.
Yeah, cold turkey.
Damn.
Which was fucking intense.
Yeah.
But something definitely happened. I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh yeah, another fucking terrible thing about weed is I have memory problems now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't have before smoking so much weed. I had a ton of memory problems when I was consistently smoking weed. And another thing is it also made me stutter a lot back then. And now that I'm not doing it anymore, my memory's gotten better. I still sometimes have issues remembering like small things, just like
events or like deadlines or like appointments or reminders.
Like small things like reminders, deadlines, some things coming up. And then like maybe some other things I'll just need to be like briefly reminded of something until I remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, like my memory is getting better now and I'm stuttering much less now. But back then I was stuttering so much that I remember some conversations, my stutter would be so bad that I would just like give up on what I was saying and I like stop talking.
Damn.
Yeah. I think I was actually one time I was talking with your wife and I was like trying to say something and I got into like this stuttering fit and then I just like stopped and she was like, "You're not gonna finish that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not finishing that sentence."
You think that's because like you got anxious or something, or something
to do with the weed for sure.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if it was like an anxiety thing, but it I mean, my brain was like, it was like misfiring basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Huh.
Yeah, it definitely fucked with my speech when I was doing it a ton.
So what helped you quit then?
Willpower, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just pure willpower?
Yeah, I think I was just, because I did quit cold turkey.
Yeah.
And, because with things like nicotine, I had tried not quitting cold turkey. I had tried weaning off by going from like high nicotine content vape to lower nicotine to no nicotine and then I even tried the nicotine gum for a little bit and those things didn't work for me. So I was like, I'm just doing cold turkey. And I did the same thing with weed at the exact same day, same time.
Damn.
And yeah, it was intense, but it worked pretty well.
Did you get withdrawals?
Yeah, really, really bad.
Like what kind?
Like,
I guess it'd be hard to know because it's mixed up with nicotine, but
yeah. I guess I can explain all my symptoms. So obviously I really, really wanted to have a hit or something. Yeah. It was really bad it was actually really, really bad and intense, but it was quite short. Like I got over it in like a week.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
which is
Like you didn't have any like sleep problems after
I
quitting.
did.
Oh, you did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the sleep problem was because so once I quit both of those things, my biggest issue, the biggest symptom was hyperhidrosis. My body was just sweating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everywhere,
Huh.
constantly. Like my full body was always sweating, especially the palms of my hand,
Yeah.
the soles of my feet, and that made sleeping really tough.
And it went away though?
Yeah, eventually it went away. Yeah,
Oh,
after like a month,
wow.
finally went away.
Were
Yeah.
you vomiting at all? Apparently that could happen.
No nausea, no vomiting, nothing like that. But the
Hmm.
thing I remember the most distinctly, and the thing that I struggled with the most, was the sweating. It was, oh my God, it was so fucking frustrating.
Hmm.
Because like I would be in bed, get under like if it was winter, get under my blanket for like 2 minutes, and my entire body's soaked, and then like can't sleep in the blanket anymore. Get like a smaller like sheet, even if I'm covered in like just a sheet, like a thin sheet, still within like 5 minutes of laying in bed, I'm just drenched in sweat.
Damn.
And that was horrible.
Did you get moody a lot? Like irritable?
I think so, but that week where I was quitting, I made sure to just be a caveman and just like not interact with people.
Yeah.
And I slept a lot, especially the first couple days. Slept a ton. Basically slept as much as I could. And it also had to do with because at nighttime I was getting terrible sleep because of the sweating. So during the daytime, if I was ever able to actually fall asleep, I would take the chance.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time like sleeping or trying to sleep. Then like after the first 3 days, didn't have as intense or didn't feel like the need to sleep as much. Still had problems sleeping at night, but it was like something had after those first couple days, things were like starting to clear out of my system. And then it was a little bit easier to fall asleep, but the sweat was still a huge issue. And then I like tried to do a bunch of different things to combat the sweating. But yeah, that was basically the worst of it.
Yeah.
For the quitting. And then for other symptoms, I realized it's all, for me at least, it was all about the routine of doing stuff. So constantly like reaching for a vape, reaching for the weed. And once I replaced those actions with other non-harmful actions, for example, every time I would really feel the need to take a hit, instead I would just chug water. Like chug as much water as I could until I no longer felt that need. And it worked. So yeah, those are, and then eventually I quit smoking weed.
So then, yeah, so you had a pretty complicated relationship with weed. Like what started off as pretty like chill.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
Later became an addiction.
Yeah. A dependency.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you recognized how it was destructive to your life.
Super destructive.
So then, looking back on it, cannabis, the weed was legalized in Canada in 2018.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a good decision?
I want to say no. Of course, there's a caveat in that I'm speaking as someone who had a pretty bad experience with weed. But to be honest, I'm like kind of to blame for that, at least partially, because I abused it. But I still feel like it's a little too available right now. And in my opinion, there has not been enough discussion and enough of an effort to educate everyone about exactly what weed is and what the value of weed is in our lives,
Yeah, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. I think like making it legal decreased weed related offenses.
Yeah.
Like it's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Great thing.
I just wonder if it would have been better if maybe they had like a tiered approach or some sort of like more stepwise approach of introducing the legalization of cannabis.
Yeah.
Rather than doing it all at one go. And also making it more strictly regulated with more health information related to it. Because I honestly think there's just so many negatives to weed in terms of like your health. Especially because in Canada specifically, probably in other places as well, but there's emergency visits that have went up quite significantly with things like visits related to weed, whatever that could be. And amongst those, what's been quite concerning is like psychosis, like especially with younger children. I mean, not children, more adolescents and young adults.
Yeah,
where they begin to hear voices, they get more withdrawn, they get paranoid, and some of these cases, like the trajectory eventually leads to things like schizophrenia.
Damn.
And it quite literally and unfortunately ruins lives, I think.
Yeah. Do you think so is this like an alarming number for you, the amount of people that are getting afflicted with things like psychosis and schizophrenia?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of those people have a predisposition and then weed like kind of activates that?
Yeah, like when I was researching it, like weed isn't a definite causative agent of schizophrenia, but it's more so that people have a lot of like predispositions, like you said. Could be genetic, could be like environmental or whatever. And then cannabis just adds on to that layer and it tips them into developing like schizophrenia eventually.
Yeah, and young adults are probably at the most risk. Either young adults or like really old people. Well,
young adults maybe.
Yeah. And yeah, this stuff is available like the day you're 18. You can just go to a dispensary.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Dispensaries are everywhere. They're everywhere. There's a shopping center really close to my house, like 2 minutes away. Not like the really big one with a theater. It's another one. And there's like a grocery store and a bunch of shops there. But in this like big area of a bunch of stores, there's 2 dispensaries. Not 1, 2. And they're like 100 meters away from each other.
Yeah.
These dispensaries are like literally everywhere nowadays. And it's so easy and so cheap to get weed. It's super, super available for anyone that wants it.
Yeah. Like they should make it more expensive.
Yeah. Baseline,
or I guess if they do that though, then people are just going to buy from like dealers or something.
Yeah.
Which is a different problem.
Yeah, it is a different problem. And I do believe that, I've said this before, I still baseline believe that adults should be able to do what they want to, as long as they're not harming others. But there are notable risks with weed. One that I don't think we've talked about at all up to this point is, DUIs with weed, driving under the influence of weed. And I think that's more common nowadays than people realize. I feel like there's more people driving high, a lot more people driving high than there are people driving drunk these days.
Probably, actually. Yeah.
And that's pretty dangerous for the people around you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's complicated for sure. All I know, the stance I have right now is I don't like the way things are right now.
Yeah,
I think the system that we have in place in Canada is a little dangerous, a little too dangerous.
Yeah, I think people should just be more informed about what we can do. Like sure, it could have benefits, and I'm not discounting that, but there's a lot of negatives to using weed as well.
Yeah, like you remember comm class in high school?
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit that should be like all over comm class.
Yeah.
All these dangerous things that are a normal part of adulthood in the Western world. Well, I don't know. Maybe nowadays they're teaching kids about weed in high school.
I hope so.
Since it's legal. Yeah, I mean, they totally should. I guess for us, when we were in high school, it wasn't legal, so there wasn't a whole lot of conversation. It was more about like, don't do this, rather than rather than exactly explaining what it does.
There's actually nothing at all like that when we were in high school,
except in elementary school.
Yeah, we had DARE.
Yeah, the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, which I think is across all of North America. Probably not global, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in America as well. I've had some American friends, and they seem to know what DARE is as well. But
I'm trying to see if the DARE program was actually effective.
You remember the line, Dairy the Line? It was Dairy, right?
Wait, what?
The line's name? Wasn't it Dairy?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I think it was Dairy the Line. But I'm not sure if this is a thing in America, but in Canada, so we have this DARE program. I'm pretty sure it's also in America. And there's like this line mascot that comes into class, and they would talk about, drugs and stuff, and to resist them.
Apparently, the DARE program was minimally effective.
Really?
Yeah, for encouraging students to stop, or not encouraging from dissuading students from using substances. And that sometimes it even backfired.
Yeah.
And that students who participated in the programs were actually more likely to use drugs.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because of, you know, conflicting information. Maybe you hear something from Dare and you're like, wait a minute, that shit ain't right.
I think so.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Yeah.
You know, a couple years back, not a couple years back, I think maybe it was like a decade ago. I remember on social media, there was like all of a sudden people started wearing Dare shirts again. And
really?
Yeah. I remember it became like cool to wear Dare shirts and do drugs while wearing them. Like I remember on social media, there was a bunch of people posting like pictures of like with a joint or some shit while wearing a Dare shirt, or like drinking alcohol with a Dare shirt or something like that. Wasn't alcohol also part of Dare?
I'm sure it was like all drugs were part of Dare.
Yeah, thinking back, I actually don't remember shit from Dare.
Me too.
Because it wasn't class. It was like the line would come in and have like a little seminar.
Well, I remember watching videos.
Was it videos?
They would bring in those big TVs.
Yeah, maybe it was that. Dude, it just thinking out loud, who the fuck was in that costume? You think it was someone from like schools was getting in the Dare costume?
So it's probably some like high school kid.
Oh, you
getting
think
extra
so?
money or something.
Oh, dude. Actually, yeah, you're probably right. I was thinking it was like someone brings a costume or part of the Dare program or something, and then like maybe a teacher gets in it.
But I think anyone could be the fucking lion.
Yeah, true. Because they don't talk, right? Yeah.
No, actually, maybe they did talk.
I don't remember.
But anyways, yeah, apparently Dare was not effective, and they revamped the curriculum or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know much about the revamped curriculum?
Not at all.
I hope it's more towards education rather than like. I mean, I don't remember exactly if it was super like don't do drugs. I think it was.
Yeah.
But the world is just so different now. You can't just tell people not to do something like because it's like disingenuous, you know. You got to explain why. Yeah, and let them make the decision for themselves.
But I guess how would you? Because I got that in elementary.
Yeah, me too.
Like, how would you deliver it in a way that you explain all of this to a grade? I don't know, grade 5 student.
Is this something that should be presented to elementary kids? Maybe it's something
in junior high. You think?
Yeah. Was there Dare in junior high?
For me, no.
I don't think there was either, yeah. Maybe it's something that should be pushed towards junior high instead. Because like when you're elementary, you're like, what the fuck is all this?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really make sense.
So it sounds like, once again, similar to really the other two things we talked about, like nicotine and alcohol. It's a pretty nuanced conversation. But this one, personally, for me, my stance is definitely a bit more stronger for cannabis, just because of the things I've witnessed myself personally and what I've looked up into.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts. I think this one is something I wanted to express kind of the dangers of it more.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah. Do you feel like you got everything out? Can you think of any more pros and cons?
Well, it's not even just about pros and cons at this point. It's just like, I think there's a lot more education, a lot more conversation should be held around weed.
Yeah, I agree. And of the 3 substances that we've talked about so far, where would you rank them in terms of danger?
Well, I mean, alcohol is still definitely number 1.
You think so?
Because alcohol, like, it literally kills people.
Yeah, but there is quite a barrier to entry to alcohol, don't you think?
No, but then I think, like, still the number 1 most commonly abused drug is alcohol, like to take away caffeine and stuff like that. So
yeah, and I guess as a global thing as well, weed is a lot less available.
I actually think there's a chart ranking the most dangerous, like, drugs, and alcohol is like number 1 or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like that's our spiel on weed. I think, like, your relationship with weed is pretty interesting. I think you almost had a very complex, like, a dynamic relationship with it. But.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was that made me finally stop, but I mean, it's great that I did, because if I hadn't like found a reason to stop, I think I would have just like, I could have still been in that cycle all the way up to today, you know, if I hadn't found the drive to stop back then. I think that really encapsulates weed. It kind of just gets a grip on you, and you know, you don't even realize it. And then for me, at least, I woke up one day and I was like, where the hell am I?
Yeah. I'm glad that you're able to quit.
Yeah, me too.
It would have been like a slippery slope to getting which is worse and worse.
It was a slippery slope. I mean, I basically lost a year of my life. That's already terrible. And it was all kind of my own doing, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I always have a pretty different take on addiction. So
yeah. I feel like you're a lot more compassionate than I am when it comes to this.
Well, I think everyone should be, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah.
But that's all the time we have today for this episode of Catch Up with Kai and Cohen. Next one will be our last episode in that series. I think it'll be a pretty interesting one. This is probably something that most people, or a lot of people, probably wouldn't have tried. So
we're getting into hard drugs.
Not going to say which ones, but you're going to have to tune in until next time. So thank you for listening, and we will talk to you then.
This was Catch Up with Kai and Cohen. Peace.